Hey guys, during this video I'll talk a little bit about Wellbutrin, as it's been almost a year now since I've been taking this drug. I've been taking it for really been taking it for depression as well as like energy levels more so. Not that I was in a depression and I needed it, but I can relate to times when I was on Wellbutrin in the past, and man, it is just very, very effective stuff for increasing your energy levels and really not needing to have like 8 hours of sleep to function. I could say I can function well with like 6.5 to 7 hours when I take Wellbutrin. Overall, you can expect more focus, more drive, ambition, so to speak, and just overall, like cognitively speaking, if you're somebody that notices like periods of brain fog or abilities with learning retention or just word recall, Wellbutrin is something which will help you get, just get back to your normal self. If you have any sort of like hints or any sort of suspicions that you like are experiencing depression or like are having the signs of it, like just slower thinking, higher need for sleep, give Wellbutrin a shot. So I'll talk about my experience. I initially started at 150 milligrams on SR, then I changed to 150 milligrams on XL, and then a higher dose of 300 milligrams of XL, and I've been on that dose for about 8 months. I love the stuff. It does everything it really says it's supposed to do, and no side effects whatsoever. If anything, it's a good side effect for me because I find that I'm really hungry sometimes. It's a pretty strong appetite suppressant. Don't be surprised if you can go like 1 or 2 meals a day and just take it and not need food for the rest of the day. It's pretty cool that way. If you're somebody that's experiencing like weight gain from taking a antidepressant, that in itself is going to make you depressed. Why don't you try this? It's like a antidepressant, and it'll help you even lose weight. There's studies done on this. They found like half the patients that took Wellbutrin, I think it was a study of like 300 people, they lost not a significant amount of weight, but about 2 to 3 pounds. It was more so effective, of course, with females and those who were obese. But that's interesting, since most of the research shows that when people take an antidepressant, like especially a SSRI, that they actually do put on weight. Maybe it causes cravings, maybe you're just lazier, you don't get to the gym. But good stuff. There's no decrease in libido whatsoever. And very commonly people ask me, especially on this channel, is there a difference between the brand name and the generic, right? And I was really intrigued by this myself. I asked around. I'm not a pharmacist, of course. I have not studied this stuff in school. That being said, I first took Wellbutrin maybe 7 years ago, and and it's really incomparable to everything else. It's some good stuff. I'd rate it a 10 out of 10. But as far as like just taking it, there is no difference whatsoever in the brand or the generic. I don't have a preference over the two. The reason why I kind of rotate sometimes is sometimes my supplier at the pharmacy does not have like the generic in stock, so I'll get the brand. There's really no cost difference. I asked my doctor the same thing. They really just said there was no difference. One thing is the pills are like shaped a little bit differently. Like they can be circular or they can be like a rectangular style. But good stuff. Take it early in the morning. Take it with some water to get the best effects. Me personally, I've noticed just not taking it with any other medication and taking it fasted. In the morning, typically, like my routine is that I'll take some Wellbutrin and I'll take some T3 for my thyroid. I've had some hypothyroidism, and now I'm just omitting the T3, taking the Wellbutrin by itself first thing in the morning, and I'm really finding like better results that way. Don't forget, drink like a ton of water. Just be conscious of it, and there's no crash at the end of the day. So if you're feeling a crash, don't really think it's the Wellbutrin. If anything, it's something else you're taking, like some other sort of stimulants. But the one flaw with Wellbutrin is that it can really act like synergistically with other stimulants you're taking. And there's certain stimulants that I could take before, but I wouldn't take along with Wellbutrin because I just get over anxious. My heartbeat starts elevating. For example, like caffeine feels like, if you put a good dose of caffeine in your Wellbutrin as well, you're just a little bit over anxious. Other thing is yohimbine. If you're somebody that has tried yohimbine in the past, it can induce euphoria. It can really do some special stuff. That is something which I can't take with Wellbutrin for whatever reason. My heart just yeah, my heartbeat just escalates. Just don't feel right, like my heart's gonna beat out of my chest. So I wouldn't take something for ADHD along with Wellbutrin. Like for example, in the past, I've been on Ritalin, I've been on Concerta, I've been on Vyvanse. These are all prescribed. I've never tried Adderall, but those are drugs which I would not take with Wellbutrin, as I noticed they're just, yeah, again, just like this feeling of uncomfort in my chest. And even modafinil to some extent. When I take modafinil with Wellbutrin, I feel a little bit more stimulated than I should be. That being said, if I have like a lower dose of modafinil, like 100 milligrams, it seemed to be okay. But I hope that was helpful, guys. Again, if you have any suspicions that you may be suffering from any sort of depression or just slower thinking, Wellbutrin could be a really good tool. Or if you're somebody which is like having trouble just motivating yourself and you're the lazy type, this could be what you need. People, I find from my experience, their idea of depression is just like, you know, you're shot, you're in bed, you're not doing anything. But there could be some, you know, there are, again, a lot of subjects where people are going through their day and they may not notice, but they are kind of feeling depressive symptoms, but not to the extreme that you would basically see in other people. So very common one is anhedonia. What anhedonia means is that you like lose interest in your hobbies or lose interest in things which typically excite you. So like for me, like some of my interests are like, I love soccer. I love watching soccer, playing soccer. I grew up playing soccer. I love fitness. I love reading about bodybuilding, for example. And what else? I love selling, right? I love selling. I love like entrepreneurship. So some symptoms of anhedonia for me are like, if I lose interest in all three of these things and I just have no desire to like, you know, like get to the gym or like play soccer or, for example, like read up on entrepreneurship or try different things, that's a good sign for me that, you know, I could be experiencing some of those symptoms, which it happens, especially, you know, with like living in a country like Canada and the sun's barely here, right? Who knows? That's my video, guys. I hope you guys found that helpful. That's talking about Wellbutrin. Let me know how it's going for you. I'd be very curious. It seems like there's a good community of people taking this drug, and hope you guys again found that helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.